Mr. Stu Bergier, our executive producer. How excited are you that our gold reserves are over $1 trillion now?
Almost as excited as I am for shutdown day, Glenn.
Yeah, really? I'm actually kind of excited for shutdown day. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you why here in a minute, but let me just stay on gold here for a second. Has Bitcoin gone up 45% in the last 12 months?
I believe so, but if your point is that gold is performing very well, it has performed very well as an investment.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, other than Bitcoin, is there anything else that is performing this well?
It is up, Bitcoin's up 75% in the last year.
75%. Wow. And what do those both have in common, Stu? Why would both of those be going up? Wondering. Just curious.
I don't know. Maybe it's the constant printing of money that has gone on forever. Matter who the president is, no matter who's in Congress, that's the one thing we all seem to agree on: printing more money nonstop.
Yeah, we just spend and spend and spend and spend. And the market is telling you, I don't think this is a good idea. That's what the price of gold is telling you. That's what the price of Bitcoin is telling you. I don't think this is going to end well. Okay? So anybody who is, I mean, I actually saw people go, this is great. Gold is up. We got $1 trillion. First of all, $1 trillion in gold. We have 8,100 pounds of gold, or so they'll lead you to believe. We have 8,100 pounds
tons,
of gold.
Right? 8,100.
I have tons.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. 8,100 tons of gold. The next closest, they say, is Germany with almost 2,000 tons of gold, but I think China is probably way up there. It could be wrong. But I'm not sure any of that gold is there in the first place. And even if we took 8,100 tons of gold and we sold it or exchanged it for our debt, we would get nowhere on our debt. $1 trillion will cover half of the deficit from this year alone. It won't even cover the full deficit. You sell all of our gold, and it won't even cover the shortfall from this year's spending. Maybe I might want to buy some more gold. You know, I might want to buy some Bitcoin. I'm just saying, because that doesn't bode well. You know, when you have Fort Knox protecting our treasure, and it doesn't even cover the bounced checks, I don't know if you're going to make it, you know. But here's some good news. Let's get into the shutdown, because I think this is a good thing. Stu, give me your opinion on the government shutdown.
Well, generally speaking, I feel like the government shutdown puts the government back to some sort of sane size for a short period of time. That's how I typically look at it. It's like if you have a non-essential employee that you can let stay home, they should maybe stay home every day. Maybe all of the employees for the federal government should be essential, and those are the only ones we should keep. But really, the question with a shutdown like this is what happens with the politics. And we know typically the party who's out of power, that is coming up with the demands and not just passing the clean CR, is the one that gets blamed for it. But I've got news for you that might not be the case this time.
So here's what's really fascinating. So this has all been done by Russ Vought. He's the Office of Management and Budget, the OMB. And he's the guy actually in charge of, you know, making sure everything is funded, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. He is a brilliant architect of small government. He's all for this shutdown. And here's why. What Congress did is they last week, they have a majority in the House. Last week, they passed a clean continuing resolution that would fund the government without any meaningful policy changes or add-ons, and then they left town, okay? They sent it over to the Senate. Now, the Senate requires 7 Democrats to join the Republicans to hit the 60-vote threshold, but the Democrats weren't allowed to vote yes unless Republicans agreed to a $1 trillion bunch of new demands. Okay, $1 trillion. Republicans said, no, No, not going to do that. One of the things they wanted to do was fund Obamacare for illegals. Do you remember? You lie! When Obama said, you're never going to have an illegal get any money from Obamacare. Well, that's what they wanted. They wanted money to be able to pay for Obamacare for illegals. Congress said no. Okay. So what happens tonight when they shut things down? Russ Vought is going to be in the driver's seat. If Congress shuts down now, if the government shuts down, he's going to go to work on some changes. He's already instructed agencies to, quote, send reduction in force notices to all employees in programs, projects, or activities that check all three of the following boxes. 1, they're not paid for by mandatory spending. 2, they aren't covered by the Big Beautiful Bill Act. 3, they aren't in line with the president's goals. And not just for the week, okay? But until the program is reauthorized by Congress. At which point, then, the people that they've just let go can reapply for their jobs. That's an awful lot of government employees. Okay? Just think of this. 1, if the program is not paid for by mandatory spending, if it's not covered by the Big Beautiful Bill Act, or if it's not in line with the government's, the president's goals, they're to send pink slips out. And they're permanent pink slips until Congress comes back and not reauthorizes a bill, but reauthorizes all of those programs. I think this may be the happiest day I've had in a long time, if that works. This may be one of the greatest things anyone has ever pulled off. And the reason why the Democrats are going to lose is because, Chuck Schumer, he took a heavy blow last time, when he authorized the, first budget earlier this year. And everybody's like, you got to fight. He's like, I don't really have any tools to fight with here. You got to shut it down. Okay. So now nobody in the Democratic Party wants to do anything but shut it down unless they get $1 trillion additional spending for illegals on Obamacare. And all of the radicals, Chuck Schumer is being, going to be primaried by a radical. And so they know the radicals are going to get rid of all of the sane people. Not that Chuck Schumer is sane, but all of the relatively sane people. And all they want now is a battle. And so they're going to get one. And they think that this will work to their advantage. And I don't know, as Stu just said, probably will, because the GOP is so unbelievably incompetent.
Yeah, and obviously the media is going to do what they can. I mean, it struck me yesterday, we haven't heard word one about any poor mothers who will be at home without any money if the government shuts down. I mean, usually this is 2 weeks of lead up of the sad single mom who will be at home and can't pay her bills, and we meet every single one of them over and over and over and over and over again. Have you heard word one of any consequences of a shutdown? None of these people matter, apparently, this week. And I wonder why that is. This is the issue here. The media is going to do everything it can.
There, Stu? What is your possible theory? Remember, gold's at $3,800. It's a day to celebrate. Government's rich.
Yeah.
What is the possibility that you're implying here?
Well, the media obviously has abandoned their typical way of covering this, because usually what happens in these situations is the party that is out of power, that is demanding these things. I want this cut. I want this expenditure. They're the ones that would be blamed for a shutdown. The Republicans have already passed this bill. It's already been passed in the House. They're on board for it in the Senate. The only reason that we aren't going to continue spending at these completely absurd levels is because the Democrats are stopping it. Normally, the way this works in the media, it would be the Democrats, the out of power party, that would be blamed for this. They're the ones getting in the way of everything just continuing this wonderful way forward where we continue to spend more money than we have. And in this particular case, I'm not seeing any of that lead up. I have not seen the talks about, I have not met the restaurant and bar owner in Washington, D.C. yet that's going to have no one coming in, and they're going to have to lay off all of their waitresses and waiters at their restaurant. I have not heard any of the people who rent out homes to those who no longer have jobs, and their as landlords are going to be sobbing as they can't pay their electricity bills. I have not heard any of these sob stories, any of the violin music. I haven't heard any of it. This is happening in hours, Glenn. And we have not met any sob story people yet. Where are all this? Is everyone just happy now? Everyone's just happy with the shutdown this one time. The media is doing everything they can to try to turn this into a situation where the Republicans will be blamed for it because this is their jobs. This is what they see their jobs as. Figure out a way to blame evil Republicans for everything. This one time, they're going to try to do it this way. And then, next time there's a Democrat in office, the opposite is going to be their approach. But we are at a time where we're going to figure out, yet again, whether the media can, if they are still capable of manipulating this into a situation in which the Democrats benefit. And if it works, you're going into a midterm election next year that is already stacked against Republicans. It's already a very difficult thing to do in an off year of your first of a president's new term. So this is what their hope is, and this is a big bet by Schumer because, as you point out, if he doesn't do this, he gets primaried by AOC and loses. He has to do this for his own political survival. So, it's hard to imagine this getting cleaned up before the shutdown actually occurs. I don't know if there's any chance of that.
Yeah, I don't think the shutdown is going to occur. I can't believe it's not going to. The shutdown's going to occur. And then, of course, planes will fall out of the skies. Babies will no longer be able to suckle on their mother's teat.
Really? Oh, no.
The milk is going to run dry.
Oh, no.
Probably about maybe an hour after the shutdown. And it will be all horrible, horrible, horrible. I just can't get over how they have handed the president such a victory. If I understand this right, and I think I do, the victory that they are handing him is long term. By being able to fire people and then saying, you got to reapply. I mean, he has just put a monkey wrench into agencies and things that he's wanting to shut down. I mean, it's pretty incredible.
I mean, it's a good attempt. I like the idea that they're going to try to push it in the right way. Remember, though, they had Doge in there. They tried to do a lot of this stuff. A lot of it got overturned in the courts. I mean, there's a very good chance the same type of thing happens here. I mean, I'm not nearly as confident in this approach as you are.
Because
I like it, but
yeah, I'm not sure the lasting impact. I mean, on paper, that's what they're trying to do. And I agree with you on the courts. But on the short term, you can't spend the money that's not there. They have to cut the government spending. And so they'll have to cut it down to the bone. And, again, I go back to essential employees. Everybody else should go home and stay home forever. If you're not essential, why are we paying you? Why am I working all day long so you could have a job that's not essential? All right, more in just a second. Let me tell you about our sponsor. It's My Patriot Supply. The most dangerous thing about the power grid is how much we assume that it's always going to be there and how much it's going to work. Every switch you flip, every screen you stare into, every appliance humming quietly in the background, it's all built on the idea that electricity will be there when you need it. Well, will it? I mean, have you seen the price of electricity going up now just because of AI? The juice that AI is already starting to suck out of the system is driving energy prices up. And it's there when you need it until it's not. And when that moment comes, the lights go dark, the neighborhood gets quiet, you find out how little control you actually had. That's why My Patriot Supply built the Grid Doctor 3000. It's quiet, it's compact, it's solar-powered backup generator that doesn't just help you through an outage. It keeps you in control of your own life. No gas, no fumes, no noise, just 3,300 watts of dependable power. It can run a lot of things in your house. It run your freezers. Have you had your freezers ever shut down? Mine have. All the money that I lost in the freezers, really not good. Wish I had a Grid Doctor 3300. 0 down and as little as $104 a month when you shop now at mypatriotsupply.com/Beck. Go to mypatriotsupply.com/Beck. 3,300 watts of backup power delivered to your door, $0 down. See the page for more details at mypatriotsupply.com/Beck. 10 seconds, station ID. All right. So I just watched an hour of Pete Hegseth meeting at the Pentagon with all of the leaders, and it all makes perfect sense to me why he called everybody in. Remember, this was been speculated now, we're going to war, we're going to whatever. And nobody really knew until he spoke at the Pentagon today to all of the leaders of our military all over the world. They've all been called back to Washington, D.C. for this meeting today. Never been done before. And everybody was wondering why. In listening to it, he didn't say anything other than common sense. We have this wishy-washy, coalition building, let's spread democracy kind of military that is now have men in dresses and everything else. And his goal has been to change that from top to bottom. And he's been doing it. Today, all it was a reaffirmation of that, and more in real clear terms. We are no longer putting up with any kind of non-action. If you're not earning your position, if you're not a person of merit, you will not be promoted. In fact, you'll probably be fired. We are the Department of War. We are not the Department of Woke. Our job is to defend our country and to become the most lethal killing machine in the world. So if our country ever needs it, we are there. It was a really stirring speech, and I want to take a couple of minutes after this quick break to explain why did he call everybody in. And to me, it makes perfect sense. I mean, it's just my guess of why, but makes perfect sense. I'll explain now.
This is Glenn Beck.
All right, let me tell you about Patriot Mobile. The first thing you notice is that it works. The calls don't drop. The data doesn't slow down. The coverage is solid. You don't have to fiddle with, the settings or switch your phone. You just switch your service, and it works exactly the way it has been working. That's Patriot Mobile. They use the same tower networks as the big guys, which means you get the same reliable coverage, the same speed, the same performance, but without paying into the system that mocks your values. Because that's the second thing you notice. Peace of mind. You're not funneling your money into companies that fund political causes that you don't believe in. You're not supporting DEI agendas or woke activism disguised as corporate policy. You're paying for service, and service that respects you and your values. Patriot Mobile, they offer great coverage, affordable plans, and a U.S.-based customer support team that treats you like a human being. Switching is easier than ever. Activate in minutes from the comfort of your home. Keep your number, keep your phone, or upgrade. It's time to make the switch today. Go to patriotmobile.com/Beck or call 972-PATRIOT, 972-PATRIOT, or use the promo code Beck for a free month of service. It's patriotmobile.com/Beck, 972-PATRIOT.
Subscribe to the new email newsletter from Glenn Beck at glennbeck.com. It is free. Sign up now at glennbeck.com.
Let me go to Trump. He is now live addressing the top military leaders after the address with Pete Hegseth. Can we take just a little bit of it?
That are doing so well. Together over the next few years, we're going to make our military stronger, tougher, faster, fiercer, and more powerful than it has ever been before. I rebuilt our nuclear, as you probably know, but we'll upgrade that also and just hope we never have to use it. We have to hope we never have to use it, because the power of that is so incredible. I see things I don't think they'd show it to you. I really wouldn't want them to show it to you. But when you see the result of what's left, you never want to use that. Never, never, ever. We were a little bit threatened by Russia recently, and I sent a submarine, nuclear submarine, the most lethal weapon ever made. Number one, you can't detect it. There's no way. We're 25 years ahead of Russia and China in submarines. Russia's actually second in submarines. China's third, but they're coming up. They're coming up. They're way lower in nuclear too, but in 5 years they'll be equal. They're coming up. And you don't have to be that good with nuclear. You could have 1/20th what you have now and still do the damage that would be, that'd be so horrendous. But
so what he's talking about here, Pete Hegseth just came in and said, we're going to reshape our strategy, which I think is really good. You know, after the last 25 years of war, no, the last 50 years, the way we've been fighting has been ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We don't fight to win. We put handcuffs on our people. We should be breathtaking. I mean, that should be the goal of our military. You go in quickly, and you just suck the air out of the lungs of your opponent. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, stop. That's the way you save lives. And we've not done that. Now, when he's talking about nuclear, I have talked to the president about this personally multiple times. He despises our nuclear capability, and he knows what we can do because, as he just said, he rebuilt it. And he said, Glenn, you don't want to even know what we are capable of doing. It keeps him up at night. It keeps him up at night. And he believes that we have to have these defenses, or when the world goes crazy, if you don't, you'll be threatened by them, and you have to have a response to hold people into check. And that's why they've changed the Department of Defense to the Department of War. Hegseth is really, really sharp. Hegseth knows that we have become this force that cares more about, spreading democracy than winning a war when our nation is attacked. If you really wanted to change things, the United States would have gone into Afghanistan quickly, knocked out the Taliban, killed Osama bin Laden, and come home. Come home. That sends a message. We're not an enemy of people. We are going to destroy the people who have just hurt us in our own homeland. We will destroy you. You will pay the highest of prices. But we're not going to get involved in your local politics or anything else. We're just not going to do it. And the State Department and everybody else has made this nation-building bullcrap our main priority. That's not what our Pentagon is supposed to do. They are supposed to break things and kill people. And so the first message that Pete Hegseth and the president sent to the fighting forces all around the world, and I believe even our own fighting forces, is we are not a Department of Defense. We are a Department of War. We don't want war. We don't want to go to war, but that's what we should be preparing for all the time. Because if we're prepared for war, it's the best deterrent out there to stop wars. I agree with it 100%. So why did Hegseth call everybody in? Now, he said it wasn't any big deal. The president said it was a big deal. There's been speculation on, what does all this mean? Let me tell you what I think it means. After listening to Hegseth, let me tell you what it means. All Hegseth did, he said, in the coming months, we're going to be changing all of our strategies. We are going to be re-looking at our offense and defensive posture all over the world. We are not going to be playing the same game anymore, and we'll have more on that later. That's not worth calling everybody in from all over the world. Here's what was. We've made some changes, and you have felt those changes, I believe. You've seen those changes. We are now a Department of War, and we operate only on merit, not DEI, not special favors, not how long you've been in the chain of command. If you don't earn your space, you lose your space. We are going to be a lethal fighting force. We're not going to lower our standards. If you can't pass the physical test, you're out. We must keep our standards high. His main thing, I think, was to let the fighting force, let the leadership know two things. One, if you're a warrior and you want to be a warrior, you are probably the one who is least likely to vote for war because you know what war does. You know the scars, you know the death, and so you don't want war. But you grew up, most likely, and I'm paraphrasing him, you grew up wanting to be a soldier, wanting to defend your country. And you have now found yourself in this situation to where that's not what you've been doing. You've been nation building, and you've been, the woke police. That all ends. Why did he have to call everybody in? Let me explain it this way. If you work at all remotely, like today, I'm in Florida, my staff is in Dallas. And if I said to my staff, guys, I want to have a meeting today online, and it's mandatory, everybody is there, and I make a statement, and I say, hey, we're changing a bunch of stuff, and this is just the way it is. It'll imprint and make an impact, but not the kind of impact that I said, everybody, I want you to drop everything you're doing, and I want you to get on a plane, and you're going to join me for a day in Florida because I want an all-hands-on-deck meeting, and everyone is required to be there. That gets everybody in the building going, what the hell is happening? What is coming? And so you're very clear. You are listening intently, and you realize that your boss has now sent a message. We're not fooling around on this. I'm not just saying these words. I mean these words. We are changing the way we do things, and if you don't get on board, you're fired. That's why he called everybody in. Not for any new war tactics, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, those may be discussed, but it's not that we are, going to war with anybody, going to war with Russia or anything else. What he was doing was sending the message, this president and I are very serious. The culture is going to change, and it's going to change right now. You don't like it? Don't get onto a plane. Come to my office. I'll relieve you of command. It was the most common sense thing I've heard from a leader in Washington in a very long time. It was everything he said was like, okay, well, that makes sense. And you follow that with, the answer, but you follow that with, they haven't known this already? No, they haven't. Because we haven't been fighting. We haven't been dealing with things. We are so far away from common sense that, no, you do have to say those things now. Yeah, you're not going to advance unless you're actually making our situation stronger in the direction that the president has set. If you're making it weaker, if you are sabotaging us, if you think you're going to escape, you're not going to escape. You're going to be fired. That's fantastic. It's called accountability. And I haven't heard that for quite some time. the president is also changing the world. He is, I don't know if you saw his 20-point plan for Israel. But man, I love the way this guy thinks. Again, he's not going in and taking this view of what we've done before. He's saying none of that has worked. So I've gotten with everybody in the Arab world, and I've gotten with Israel. That hasn't happened before. I got everybody in the Arab world and Israel, and we're telling you right now, Hamas, release the hostages today. Accept this 20-point plan. It is all in line with the Arab world. It's not the United States or Israel dictating this to you. The Arab world is saying exactly what I'm saying. So you are out of step with your own people all around you. So accept this deal. Otherwise, I can't help you. Israel, as Benjamin Netanyahu said, if they fool around, if they don't accept it, or if they accept it and then don't follow through and release the hostages, then we will finish the job. And what that means is they'll kill all of the Hamas leadership, as they should. I mean, I don't know. I can't believe we're debating that in the first place. And there's no two-state solution. Now, the Arabs are saying, do all these things, and then we'll talk about a two-state solution. But Hamas and the Palestinians do not want a two-state solution. They have been talking about Israel giving the Palestinians a two-state solution since 1948. Okay? They don't want it. They've turned it down over and over again. They want to wipe out from the river to the sea, i.e., all of Israel. They want to wipe it out and make it void of any Jews. That's not a two-state solution. That's the final solution. So they've turned it down over and over again, and I think what Donald Trump is doing is absolutely right. No, we're not even going to talk about a two-state solution until you do all of these things. Stop terror, release all the hostages, then come to the negotiating table and we'll talk about it. Other than that, no. And the Arab world is with me. If this guy can get these things done, he transforms the world. Now, I have very little faith that, the Middle East is ever going to find peace. Might find it temporarily, but they're not going to find peace. I mean, we know how this ends. If you read the book, the whole last chapter is about this. And it doesn't end well. It does actually end well, but first, there's a lot of problems with it. It's not going to fall into peace easily. Then one more thought on Israel. This Charlie Kirk nonsense has got to stop. This conspiracy theory. Now the conspiracy theory is that his own people shot him. Okay. Last week, I think it was that the Israelis had a trap door behind him, and that's why they're redoing that whole section, because they have to seal that tunnel underneath the stage where they had a trap door, and some Jew popped out and shot him in the back. Okay, it didn't happen. I don't know how you would possibly even believe that. But the other was, Charlie was turning on the Israelis. He didn't like Israel at all. Now the 7-page letter is out, and I'm glad they released it. I want to finish this here in just a second. First, our sponsor this half hour is Chapter. Look, Medicaid is coming up. The time to sign up for Medicaid or Medicare is right now, or it will be soon. If you are on Medicare and you're looking for a plan because you're about to go on, be careful. Be careful how you choose. There are plans that you probably didn't even know existed. Chapter exists to make sure you're aware of every possible plan. This is a bunch of tech people who are big in AI. Big in Silicon Valley, and they use AI, and their parents all got screwed by these insurance companies that were only showing them this plan and this plan, not all of them. And so they were just hemorrhaging. They couldn't afford their own care. they wanted to make sure that didn't happen to people anymore. They wanted to fix that. So they started Chapter, and it's really a tech service with really good people. And they show you absolutely every option. They use the tech. They ask you a whole bunch of questions. Takes about 20 minutes. Whole bunch of questions. Find out your medical needs, where you are, what you're looking for. And then they go out and they search every plan, and they come up with the right plan for you. I trust them. I believe they'll earn your trust as well. Enrollment season is right now, or coming right up on us. They're about to get very busy, so call them now. All you have to do is hit pound 250. Go to your phone, hit pound 250, say the keyword chapter, pound 250, keyword chapter. They'll help you find the right plan. It is easy and completely free. Dial pound 250, keyword chapter.
Freedom's like a wild horse. If you don't grab the reins every once in a while, you're liable to catch a hoof to the face. And trust me, that ain't pleasant. Beck will be right back after this.
You're sitting at your kitchen table, sipping coffee, checking your email, and then all of a sudden you see it. A notice about a loan you never took out. Paperwork you've never seen before. It's in your name, it's your house, but you didn't do any of this. And suddenly you realize what's happened. Someone somewhere in the world got your title, and they used it to steal your home out from under you. Not physically, of course, you're still living there, but on paper, it's not yours anymore. And now you're the one left to prove that you didn't commit fraud, because no one's coming to fix this for you. Unless you have Home Title Lock. Home Title Lock is the only service that proactively monitors your property title 24/7 and alerts you the moment anything suspicious happens, so you never have to deal with that in the first place. If somehow a transfer is initiated, if someone tries to add a new name to your deed, if anything at all starts moving behind your back, they'll catch it for you. And if your title is compromised, their resolution team works with you to help fix the damage. Your title, the very document that proves you own your home, is probably sitting unguarded right now in some digital system that anyone with the right software can access. Home Title Lock is how you change all of this. AI is a big part of this as well. It's making it easier for these criminals. And, AI is changing the world, but don't let it change the name on your home's title. Go to HomeTitleLock.com and use the promo code BLAZE. HomeTitleLock.com. The promo code is BLAZE at HomeTitleLock.com.
What Pete Hegseth has done is absolutely brilliant.
Well, of course you do, because it's a total Glenn Beck move. You make everybody, upend their lives and fly across the world to watch you make a speech. This is Glenn Beck 101. Pete used to work here. He probably went to one of those speeches. You probably gave him the idea.
Oh, man. I just love it. Sitting in the room, and he says, hey, all you fat generals and admirals, that's not who we are. It's a bad look. Everybody wears a uniform, takes a PT test twice a year, and has to pass the height weight requirements. I mean, how many went? I quit.